So let me start with something that confuses a lot of people. You can have a high income and you could be disciplined with your investing and you could be doing well and still not be on track for retirement in the way that actually matters. And when people hear that, they usually react in one of two ways, right? Some people feel relief and they go, oh, damn it, okay, great, it's not just me. And other people feel defensive, right? It's like, that can't be true. Are you kidding me? Like, high income solves the problem. I got more than enough bread. Well, in this video, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through a case study. Okay. And again, it's not to scare you, it's not to shame you, it's really just to teach you the mechanics as promised on my last video. Because this is one of the most important lessons for financially capable people over 40. Income is power, but income is not the same thing as retirement readiness. And the difference is usually a single concept. You've probably heard it many times on my channel so far: fragility. So here's the problem. Here's the person. Mid to late 40s, household income is strong, right? Consistent saver, hard assets, and looks fine on paper. And yet the person still says, I just don't feel clear. And sometimes they even say, I feel behind and it still doesn't make sense. So what's really going on? So let's run the diagnostics using the lens from the earlier videos. Remember, we don't guess, we just use constraints. So runway, lifestyle costs, income floor, investable capital. Those are the four things. And then we stress test the timing, the income, and the cost of life. Now watch what happens. So step one, the runway is shorter than it feels. So the first number is runway. So higher earners often feel like they have time because their income creates comfort. But runway is not emotional, it's structural. So if you're, say, 47 and thinking about retirement in when you're 60, that's 13 years. And 13 years sounds like a lot until you realize what it has to actually accomplish. It has to be able to absorb market cycles. It has to be able to handle life events. And it has to be able to build a durable base for you. And it has to do it while obligations are rising. So the first issue in many high income cases is this: they're not actually late, they're just compressed, right? And time compression is the silent pressure. Now, here's step two, right? Lifestyle cost climbs with income. So that's the second number that we need to account for: lifestyle costs. And this is where, believe it or not, a lot of high earners get trapped. So lifestyle expands quietly, not because people are reckless, but because life fills in the space. You get a better neighborhood, better school, more obligations, more family support, more comfort spending. And here's the key: high earners can fund that lifestyle today, but the question is, can they fund it when the paycheck stops? So the hidden pattern is this: income grows, lifestyle grows, and the retirement gap stays big. They don't feel behind because they're failing. No, they feel behind because the lifestyle target moved with them. So, step three, weak income floor. This is where high income illusion cracks. A lot of high earners don't have a strong income floor. They might not have a pension, they may not have a reliable fixed income, they might have a business that's valuable, but not predictable. So retirement becomes heavily dependent on their investments behaving and drawing them at the right time. This isn't bad, it just creates fragility. Because the difference between I have income no matter what and I need markets to cooperate is the difference between calm and doubt. Step four, investable capital versus net worth confusion. So the fourth number we need to consider is investable retirement capital. High earners often have high net worth, but net worth is not spendability. A lot of their wealth might be home equity, business equity, illiquid assets, or money with timing restrictions. But on paper, well, they're rich. But in reality, that can safely fund retirement might be smaller than it looks. This is why some high earners feel uneasy. Their scoreboard is high, but the retirement fuel tank is, well, unclear. Now we stress test this case study using the same three buckets: timing, income, and cost of life. So let's go into the first one: timing. In the first 2 to 3 years, if retirement is ugly in terms of the markets, does this person have to sell assets to live? In a lot of high income cases, the answer is yes, because the income floor is weak and the lifestyle cost is still high. So timing becomes decisive. Sequence risk is not a theory anymore, it's a freaking pain. Number two, income, so forced flexibility. If the income drops for 12 to 24 months, layoff, burnout, industry shift, does the plan that they have bend or does it snap? And high earners often assume, hey, I just work longer, right? But if the plan requires that, then it's not a plan, it's a variable. Stress test number three, the lifestyle cost. Now, if life costed 20% more than expected, healthcare, family needs, inflation, is there a buffer? Or is the plan running at the edge? In many cases, it's running at the edge because the lifestyle cost grew with income and the gap never got smaller. So, here's a diagnosis in one sentence: high income didn't create retirement readiness because the plan is still fragile under stress, not because the person is irresponsible, because the plan depends on conditions they don't control: markets cooperating, income staying stable, and costs behaving. And that's why they don't feel confident. They're sensing conditional stability. So, what disciplined high earners miss is the key understanding. They think the question they need to answer is, how much money do I make? But the real question is, how exposed am I to being wrong at the wrong time? And that's the that's the adult version of risk. And it's why two people can have the same income and very different retirement readiness. Now, this is a quick self check, right? If you're listening and thinking, hey, Dave, that sounds like me. First of all, don't spiral, okay? just ask these three questions. If my income changed for 12 to 24 months, does my plan bend or snap? If I retired into a rough market period, am I forced to sell my assets at a lower price to live? And if life costs 20% more than expected, do I have buffer or do I simply just have hope? Those questions don't create fear, they create clarity. So, what this channel does from here. This is the end of the foundation sets, and now you know the purpose of this channel. We don't do hype, we don't do tips, we don't do false reassurance. Okay, I am one to call a spade a spade. But what we do is we do diagnosis, we do mechanics, we do durable thinking for financially disciplined people over 40 years old. And from here, we move into bigger problems: time compression, fragility, false safety, decision pressures, one problem at a time. Because that's how you go from, hey, I'm uneasy, to I understand what would break and why. So if you're a high income earner and still not confident, you're not broken. Okay. That's the little bit of reassurance I'll give you. You're just noticing something important. Income is power, but it's not durability. And durability is what retirement requires. I'll see you on the next series.